Picks for Saturday, December 24th. Before I get started, there's a link in the description below to sign up for PrizePicks, or you can use promo code TUFF to sign up. PrizePicks will match 100% of your first deposit. There's also a Discord link in the description where the main server is currently completely free. We do also have the Patreon link in the description below where I do post all the plays here that I'm making on PrizePicks for each given sport that I do play here. Again, also do need to mention I'm not a gambling expert, not financial advice, simply just plays I'm personally looking at making. Hopefully give you guys some insight and analysis to make your own player prop decisions here. But we're taking a look here at the Saturday NFL slate. Again, no, not a ton of games on Sunday, Christmas Day. You can see the games we have Saturday: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 games on Saturday. 3 games on Sunday, and then we're looking like a Monday Night Football game here. So again, Saturday is kind of taking over NFL as there's no more buys, and we do have a ton of NBA games on Christmas. Just massive sports weekend as a whole, you guys. Massive sports weekend. If you bet player props, super fun times. But let's get into it. I'm looking at 2 player props here that I like for this slate. Let's get into it. So the first one I like is going to be one that we've taken before actually on this channel, maybe even twice. I'm going to target DJ Moore here. Now I know it's DJ Moore and there's some risk involved here, but I like this play at 12 fantasy score for him. I think we've taken his 12 fantasy score like twice, and it's been profitable for us this season. But he's facing the Lions, right? So Carolina Panthers, Lions. This game is being played in Carolina, which again, compared to other places around the country, the weather shouldn't be too bad here. 26 degrees, which is warmer compared to where a lot of teams are going to be playing this weekend. Keep that in mind. There's just horrible weather across the board for a ton of teams, which should definitely affect some game scripts. But Detroit's minus 2.5 point favorites here, 43.5 over under. Detroit's pretty much been in shootouts every single game. Detroit is trying to make that playoff, get that playoff hunt, right? They're in that playoff hunt, pretty deep in it. But DJ Moore here, coming off a game where he had 18 PPR fantasy points here. Again, PrizePicks does play by PPR. He had 18 PPR fantasy points against Pittsburgh. And if we just sort this by season, I mean, he's hit over 12 3 different times. But his quarterback, situation has been super tough for DJ Moore. Has had really 3 starting quarterbacks this season. It's been, in my opinion, super tough for a wide receiver to get that chemistry and gain consistent reps and things like that with 3 different quarterbacks. But if we take a look at his fantasy score game log with Sam Darnold here. Now, this is what's interesting to me. Last season, there was a little stretch here. I mean, look at these games last season, dating back to last year with Sam Darnold. He had, 15, 21, 20, 31, 10, 8, 10, and 13 PPR fantasy points in this stretch run here before Sam Darnold got hurt. I mean, this is pretty solid to me, in my opinion, right? Production from DJ Moore here. Since this season already, we've seen him twice go over this line at 20.3 against Denver, who's a very stout pass defense, and then 18.3 against Pittsburgh. So obviously there is potential. I mean, it's not like DJ Moore has just completely not come close to this line, or he doesn't have the potential to hit this line. But I just love the matchup, which is why I'm targeting this play. First, if you take a look at the last 4 weeks, the Lions giving up the second most PPR fantasy points to the wide receiver position. We've been targeting wide receivers against the Lions all year, giving up the most total pass yards to wide receivers over the last 4 weeks, the most targets to wide receivers over the last 4 weeks. Yards per throw here, sitting right here at 8.48 yards per throw. But again, the second most fantasy points to the wide receiver position over the last 4 weeks. Receptions here as well, second most receptions. I mean, even if we break this down to the full season, not even the last 4 weeks, we know where the Lions sit here. Third most PPR fantasy points to wide receivers. I believe this is probably going to be the most passing yards or most receiving yards to wide receivers, and the second most yards per throw to wide receivers. So a great matchup here. I also wanted to show you guys this. Shout out Jay Larky tweets on Twitter, by the way. But this is just a gem, in my opinion. I mean, take a look at this. So, DJ Moore, 46% slot rate on the season, but 68% slot rate since Sam Darnold became the quarterback. The Lions allowed the most fantasy points, 24.6 PPR, to slot receivers this season, smash start. And we can back that up here with this right here. Slot points per game. Now, obviously, this isn't PPR. This is probably standard. But you can see here Detroit. Shout out Razball, by the way. But this is Detroit defense. Slot points per game, 21.2 points per game to the slot. 21.2 points per game to the slot, you guys. DJ Moore, 68% slot lineups with Sam Darnold as the quarterback here. I think this is a smash spot for DJ Moore. I mean, you can take a look at even last week when he had 18.3 PPR fantasy points. Even without the touchdown, he clears the over on this. I think he finished with 5 catches for 73 yards. That would have been 12.3 fantasy points for DJ Moore. So 12 fantasy score here. DJ Moore I'm targeting against the Detroit Lions. It's the first play. And then the second play, I'm targeting a running back here. We're going to go with J.K. Dobbins over 56.5 rush yards here against the Atlanta Falcons. Now, Lamar Jackson is going to be out for this game as well. I believe Tyler Huntley is going to be the starting quarterback. I know he's been questionable, but I think John Harbaugh already come out and said Huntley is going to be starting this game. The weather's going to be tough right off the bat. 18 degrees. We're looking at possible, some precipitation and things like that. 18 degrees. There's only a 34.5 over under here. The Baltimore Ravens are looking to win this game, obviously, to stay where they are as far as playoff seeding go. But with the weather and how J.K. Dobbins has been playing, right? I mean, he was coming off back-to-back games of 120 plus rush yards, 8 yards per carry here, and 9.6 yards per carry here, right? I mean, Cleveland and Pittsburgh, not the greatest teams as far as rush defense. I mean, I guess Pittsburgh's decent, but Cleveland gets cooked as far as running the ball goes. But 2 120 plus yard rushing games here, and this line is set at 56.5. We're looking at sportsbooks here. Sportsbooks, FanDuel has this minus 114 at 61.5. PointsBet has it at 60.5. The best odds are minus 114 at 58.5, and then it opened at 56.5. So we are getting some value here, in my opinion. I do think this has a chance to bump up. I probably like this up to 59.5, in my opinion, depending on where you see this play. But at 56.5 here for J.K. Dobbins, you can see NFL defense versus position, right? The Falcons, yards per carry here, they're right here over the last 4 weeks, 4.7 yards per carry. So on the lower tier, I guess you could say, as far as running backs go. J.K. Dobbins, coming back from that injury, getting a decent snap share as well. Patrick Ricard, fullback, plays a ton of snaps here, but if we're taking a look at him between Justice Hill and Gus Edwards, he is, I wouldn't say this is a full-blown committee. I would say J.K. Dobbins is leading this backfield, especially back-to-back games with him having, 120 plus carries. We've also seen running backs do pretty well against the Falcons this season. Deonta Foreman had 100 plus yards twice against the Falcons. Brian Robinson, 18 carries for 105. Kamara, 21 carries for 91. Najee Harris, 17 carries for 86. David Montgomery, 70 carries for 67. All we need here from J.K. Dobbins is 57 rush yards. I just think a game here where they could potentially be leading. Ravens as a whole just love to run the ball. I think without question he's probably going to see around 15 plus carries in this game with the weather and all things considered. No Lamar Jackson. I like J.K. Dobbins over 56.5 rush yards. So these are the two plays here for Saturday, December 24th, Christmas Eve. DJ Moore over 12 fantasy score and J.K. Dobbins over 56.5 rush yards. Again, across the board, massive sports weekend for everybody. Let me know in the comments what you guys feel about these two plays here. Drop a like on this video, hit that subscribe button, and as always, let's cash.